Okay. So recently they leaked the cover of the new Crash game coming out, and it says Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Now everything else I'm okay with except for the title. Crash Bandicoot 4. Most people don't consider the other games canon Crash games because they weren't made by Naughty Dog. So what would make this Crash 4? If we're going by that logic and some other stuff, technically we already had Crash 4 and 5. Let me show you. Now, I know everyone's gonna get mad at me, but technically, Wrath of Cortex is Crash 4. And don't just ask the developers. Don't just ask Logic. You can also ask Japan. Japan decided they weren't just gonna call it Wrath of Cortex, they were gonna actually canonically word the game. And even they called this one Crash 4. So what do we do when Japanese release the next game? And it's still canon as Crash 4 because of developers. And let's go to Crash 5. Here's Crash 5 right here, released on the PlayStation 2 in 2004. And once again, you can ask the developers, the publishers, and Japan. Even Japanese box art says Crash 5. So what gives Activision the right to make their new game Crash 4? So one thing I noticed, the remake was made by Vicarious Visions, while this new game, along with the Spyro remake, are made by Toys for Bob. What gives them the right to call this Crash 4? And how come everyone assumes that this would be the true Crash 4, which technically happened, like, on the GameCube? So I just think it's pretty dumb that they've decided to do this. Technically, it's technically Crash 6, and if you count Crash of the Titans and Mind Over Mutant, then it's Crash 8. But there's even more of an argument on whether or not the Radical era is canon, so... Plus, those games never released in Japan, so it's Crash 6. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is actually Crash 6. And I hope the Japanese box art will be able to present that. But it's so unfortunate that they're just pushing Wrath of Cortex in the rug, but then also Twinsanity, by calling this one Crash 4, when Twinsanity was Crash 5. And Twinsanity has a good reputation. So, do I think this is a good idea? No. And honestly, I don't even know whether or not the game's gonna be good. That's not what I care about. Point is, just screwing up the entire timeline. And it's just very unfortunate. And then the fact that people are happy that they're calling it Crash 4. The fact that some people just never consider Wrath of Cortex Crash 4. Which is just not logic. And if no Crash game can be numbered after Naughty Dog trilogy, which is the logic that they use for Wrath of Cortex and Twinsanity, but then what about this? They have faith that Activision and Toys for Bob will be able to make a Crash game. Yeah, sure. Also, the redesigns look pretty stupid too.